Filipinos are a formidable force in the culinary scene, both here and abroad. Our guest today is the genius behind the widely popular Dubai Chocolate Knafeh, a dish that people simply can't get enough of. But here's the good news. You don't have to go to Dubai to taste his creations because he's bringing that magic right here at home. Now joining us live is Chef Nouel Catis. It's a beautiful day, Chef. Thank you for making time to see us.
It was a really early morning call, but well, I'm happy. It's chocolate day, so let's do it.
It is. You know what, Chef? Your viral Dubai chocolate really took the world by storm and social media. And thank you, Paolo, for when you went and for bringing us the chocolate. We can't Knafeh enough of it. Did I say it correctly?
Now, well, close.
Close enough. Si Chef na pa ganito. But Chef, take us back to when you started creating the viral Dubai chocolate and how it came about.
So I love Knafeh as a dessert. So it's actually a Middle Eastern cheesecake version. So you have the cheese, you have kataifi, and that's it. But since it's my go-to Middle Eastern dessert, that's how actually I thought about putting it together in a chocolate bar. So it was in 2022 when I started with the original version of the recipe, which actually was so different from what you've tried now. So it contained actually a layer of Kinder Bueno. I'm sure you guys know Kinder Bueno
Kinder.
so well.
Yes.
So that was the original take on the recipe. And then later on when it was developed by Fix, they removed some of the elements and it became what it is at the moment.
What were the challenges that you had to face when you were perfecting this this particular chocolate? Because I know that chocolate is temperamental to work with. It's really hard to work with. I remember when I was studying baking and pastry arts, when our chef instructor was teaching us how to temper chocolates, I was like, I'm not going to do this for a living.
You need to work like a scientist.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's difficult. So what were the challenges that you had to face?
The challenges, the main thing actually is putting a dessert in a chocolate bar. Because first and foremost, when you put something that's liquid or that doesn't hold, the chocolate breaks. So it took me kind of like half a year to reach to a point where I was like, okay, I got the formula, I got the way to do it, to make it perfect. And yeah, that was really the main thing for me, was how to put dessert in a chocolate bar.
You know, when I look at that, it's such a big part of a Middle Eastern culture, the Knafeh. I mean, like you go around and people would actually, if you're around Dubai in particular, you go around and people are saying like, hey, you should try Knafeh. When you put those two things together, it feels like it's a reflection of where you have been. Simply because from what I understand is that you want to put your experience into your own creations, and you are UAE based, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I've been living in the UAE for 16 years now, so I've become more like a fixture there. And I have just developed this fancy for Middle Eastern flavors with a little bit of my own twist as a Filipino. So you know, just being proud about how I could actually master the craft for Middle East, but coming from the Philippines is quite a unique, you know, twist together.
Did you imagine that you would go as viral as you would?
I have never imagined, because I've been used to doing stuff for many brands. So, you know, like imposter syndrome, like you're happy cheering for them, but you didn't realize you actually should be cheered for, you know, for what you've done.
Yeah, no, honestly. And I love that you're not only putting yourself as a Filipino chef on the map, you're also putting the Philippines on the map. So I just want to ask a personal question for you as a chef. What Filipino dish or maybe ingredient do you want to highlight the most for the world to see that they can't Knafeh enough? At the end of this interview, I'll get it.
No, I don't think so. We've been trying all day. So go on, Chef.
Ube is my personal favorite, and because of the color and the flavor is not easy to approach, but if you can be clever enough to make it really so popular, then so be it. So I'm working on an ube flavor. Actually, we released in Dubai already, but in the Philippines we will also do a launch.
You actually have an ube baklava, right?
That's correct.
Ube baklava.
Di naman overwhelming.
Actually, the interesting thing about the ube baklava, because you know I fuse Filipino and Middle Eastern, it contains some ingredients I can't reveal now, but it has some elements. But my main thing is it has cashew nuts. Because I think it's something really Filipino with our silvanas and other desserts. And I love cashew nuts as well. I snack on it almost every day if I have to. So I put them together.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
probably where you will get all those flavors with this new release.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And when you
for
came out
that.
with that ube baklava variant, how was it received there in Dubai?
So we have Dubai Chocolate, and the ube was the second most selling item.
Wow.
Because as they said, if you release the first album, it's so hard to do the second album.
yeah,
So Ube
yes.
Baklava is our second album.
Yeah, and it's doing well apparently.
Yes.
And we're
It
all
is.
excited for that. But you mentioned that you have been in the UAE for quite some time. You stay in touch with your Filipino roots as well,
That's correct.
especially with your ube baklava. But then when we talk about the palette that you have right now, I don't know how to describe it because it's for international, but at the same time, you still are so in touch with your Filipino roots. Just when you create because you've been doing this, even way before the fixed chocolate experience and what we're seeing right now, ube. How would you say you developed this particular talent, this particular skill?
It's really hard for me to point my finger to a particular scenario or how to describe it.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was young, I was watching Jack Torres. I don't know if you guys remember Jack Torres. So he was the iconic chocolatier. So I watched his show and I just wanted to be like him. And I think the journey came full circle kind of when I went to Dubai.
Yeah.
Because, it's just a lot of things going on. Dubai wants to be like, on top of the world, like the best they could ever be. And I fell in love with the Arabic flavors. And they always ask me like, how did you put them together? And my only joke right now is that probably before I became a Filipino, I was living in the desert.
Well, deserts in Dubai, hindi sa Pawai, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of the things that you brought here because you're actually working with hospitality groups.
Yeah,
Yes.
you teamed up with 3 of the different
did.
restaurants
I
to
did.
bring a new collaboration of
That's
the
correct.
viral Dubai
Dubai
chocolate.
chocolate.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
what those are.
I did a chocolate crepe with pistachio kunafa, and we also did a burrata soft serve with pistachio kunafa, and I brought for you here as well mochis with Dubai chocolate spin.
And I heard there's mascarpone cream inside.
Yes, there
Anything
is.
with mascarpone,
You love.
I will die. I want to swim in mascarpone.
And mochi is like heaven.
All right.
It is.
Are these for display or are these for sampling?
Can we try them?
You can, but there's a cherry on the top though. That's my brand. This thing on top of it.
Okay, let's talk about it. So I don't think what
course.
most people know is you're actually not with the leading viral Dubai
No,
chocolate
no.
fix anymore. So
no.
let's talk more about that, Chef.
Yes.
You have your own brand.
So I have my own brand because people were clamoring like, Chef, why we want to see you more, like do your own spin, do your own stuff because we want to be behind you. So I released Snap in October last year.
Okay.
And since then, people have been snapping.
I love that. I actually love the name,
Yeah,
Snap.
Snap, yeah.
It's so cute, and especially when you snap a chocolate
Yes,
bar.
exactly, yeah.
Adorable.
That's why we have it.
But you know what, Chef?
Feel free.
I
Feel
am
free to try.
eyeing the mochi. Can we all
go ahead.
Go.
All right, sure. Mo, you can go first.
Yes.
All right, but
Take a
Chef, when you
bite.
take a look at the experience that you want everyone to come home with, because it's so, there's just so much. Wait, let's wait for this.
The moment.
Oh my.
All right, Chef. So when you try to encourage or try to craft experiences for your customers, so what do you want them to come home with? Because it's so indulgent sometimes, chocolate,
Right,
but then
yeah.
it's so creative as well, and the spin that you put on this is obviously a different level.
I just look at the childhood memory, and I've delivered this on my TED Talk. Actually, my speech was about how you actually make people fall in love with your food, with your cooking, and it really boils down to nostalgia. Like I always remember in my childhood what made me happy, and since we're all like in diaspora, we're all over the world. What makes you fall in love again with your childhood? And that will be the flavors you have had when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So that's the secret.
It's a chocolate for you, for
Yes,
sure.
it is.
Wow.
And that's the vehicle for people to, because chocolate, everybody loves chocolate.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you have a favorite chocolate that growing up that really influenced you?
Chocolate.
Everybody loves
Yeah,
chocolate.
chocolate,
Yeah. When was
I'm out
the-
of words. Sorry, Chef.
Yeah, please.
This is
All right,
so
go ahead.
good.
So I know that growing up, you got your cooking influence from your mom,
Yes.
I believe. Yes. So when was that moment when you realized that I want to focus on chocolate? I want to focus on desserts.
It was when I failed in my cooking class with my family.
You failed?
When they didn't like what I was cooking.
No, but what were you cooking?
Yeah,
What did you cook?
I cooked kare-kare and I burnt the
no.
rice to make it thick.
Oh, no.
And they said, "This is such a waste. You know, why you made this?" And it wasn't even delicious. So I remember that really well, and that's when I realized, you know what, I'm not really for cooking. So I tried baking, and that's when I said, this is me.
There was your path. You had to
Exactly.
burn kare-kare to find the right path for you. But you know what? If you could have a conversation with your younger self back then, when you were starting out, when you burnt that kare-kare, what would you tell your younger self? What advice would you tell?
I probably would just tell myself, because I was really shy and very timid. I would tell myself to just be yourself and don't be scared to experiment.
Yes.
Because what I'm doing now is really more about innovation, and you have to fail many times before you reach
That's
success.
true.
Right?
Especially if you're working with chocolate.
Exactly.
Now, Chef, I was too preoccupied. That mochi was another level.
Oh my God, sinubo lahat!
Wow!
Kalma! Dessert is
That
supposed
was
to be...
so big. I had like 7 bites and Pao had 2.
Dessert is supposed to be savored. Small bites.
Chef, when you...
So she's fasting, right? So
She's fasting, so that's me and Paolo's na. Don't touch it,
No, I'm
please.
saving this for later. Thank you, Chef.
Okay.
I'll keep it na. I'll keep it na.
But Chef, when you play around with flavors like this, how? I mean, I want to know your creative process. I know I asked you that in the
Yes.
beginning, but to combine mochi, which is Japanese, knafeh, Middle Eastern,
Yes.
mascarpone, Italian.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't know how you just come up with it and it works so well.
There is a formula, but in the end, you need to just trust your guts based on your experience. But the key element, again, is always about nostalgia, all about heritage. You have to stay true to, like, for example, it's a Japanese concept. So you have to use the mochi as the vehicle. And you stuff it with something that works, which is the Dubai chocolate. And the mascarpone actually is an element they've been using in the recipe. So it's already a proven formula. So don't break anything. It's already working well.
Right. And
yeah,
did this
yes.
partnership push you out of your comfort zone?
Yes, it did. It did.
For sure, right?
It did, yeah.
Because, I mean, I have no words on how good it was.
Was there a particular ingredient in these collaborations that you've never worked with before?
You know, the thing about, because this is my homecoming and my first collab ever, so I really was a bit nervous because I thought I probably have forgotten how, people here in the Philippines now are craving for their desserts. How they want it presented. So that was, I think, the element that actually, more than the ingredients, that made me kind of nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not, you don't need any more validation, but I hope our reactions were validating.
I can't wait to try the other two.
Yeah, but when we look at the fact that, it feels like a Filipino cuisine in general, Filipino pastries, and as a whole, it feels like we're always seeking that validation. We're always seeking that international recognition. And you're already at the forefront of trying to be able to push that with your ube baklava, for sure.
Right.
But when you take a look at what Filipino pastries are, if you were to introduce it to those who are not too familiar with it, how would you describe it? And how would you find a way to really present it to a more foreign palate?
I always look at the more of the natural format of our ingredients, like, where we have a lot of nuts, like pili nuts, cashew, ube. They're all like earthy, nutty tones. So the way I look at it, it's more of like a tropical kind of flavor. So when they ask me about it, I just tell them, like, imagine, you're in a tropical area and these are the flavors you enjoy: coconut, pineapple. And that's how I try to fuse together between the flavors of the Arabic world, for example. But I don't want to stop there. I want to dominate, like, as much of many countries. Yeah, if
take
I can.
over the world.
So, but
You're taking over the world slowly, but surely,
I
Chef.
want to make sure we have our Filipino pride stamped on the creations.
Yeah, one more from me here, because you have so much Filipino inspiration in your creations, but you live so far away. Does that actually keep you connected to being at home?
Because I will be flying here almost every month beginning next month. So that's part of the plan to get more connected. And because I do come home every year, once a year, and I do try to explore, but I've never, actually it's only on this trip, I was able to explore more restaurants and see how people or Filipinos enjoy their desserts or food in general. So this is the moment where I can actually get that kind of feel again on how we are all enjoying it here in Manila, for example.
Yeah, Chef, I just want to say thank you for the most amazing breakfast I've ever had in my life.
Dessert for breakfast.
That was the best ever. I want to do a quick game with you, like a quick fire question.
Sure. Okay.
So what's your favorite dessert when no one's watching?
Oh, champorado.
Oh, champorado.
With tuyo.
With tuyo, okay.
I know it's breakfast, but it's still my dessert.
I mean, it can be for whenever. Breakfast is life, and it's all day.
Yes.
Yeah. One ingredient you can't live without.
That you
I
cannot
would say,
eat.
I'll always say it's still ube.
So ube.
Ube.
One ingredient you want to work with in the future that you haven't tried yet.
Oh, that's, I think I want to work with foie gras.
Oh, are you going to make foie gras into a dessert?
Maybe we can put inside the chocolate and break it open.
That is
You know what, Chef? You need
Why
to
not?
send us
That is
your...
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to send
If
us
it
your
happens,
tester.
Chef,
Yeah.
we need to be one of your taste
Yes.
testers.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to be on the show
sure.
again. Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
That would be
Foie gras.
amazing with like dark chocolate, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because it's buttery, so I think.
Oh yeah, directors, they're also asking in the control room.
Yes.
They're also part of the taste test.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good,
yeah, if
good.
that's okay.
Yeah, you won't have you'll have a lot of guinea pigs.
Last question, your
Yeah.
dream collaboration, dead or alive?
It's Amaury Guichon.
Ooh, and why?
Because for me, he's at the top of his game, and I want to see how he actually does it. I just want to get more inspired again, you know. So I think that's the best collab ever.
Oh, I love that. Do you have any advice? You know what? I might start going into pastry. Do you have any advice for anybody, for our viewers that are watching who
Yeah.
want to start, you know, cooking, doing
Yes.
chocolatier?
Yeah.
What's your advice to them,
My
Chef?
advice is just to be authentic and to just remember if what you're doing is really something you're passionate about, and nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I just don't know what to say anymore because I just want to eat Anne's mochi that's just sitting there.
I'm keeping
Well,
it
you still
already.
have the snack bar later to eat
I
as well.
know, my
I'm
goodness.
rarely left speechless, but that is
Yeah,
one of the times
same.
that I actually
It's
I'm at a loss of words.
yeah, it's that heavenly experience.
Right.
You know,
You
that-
can't say anything yet. You haven't tried it.
Don't fake it, girl. You haven't eaten it.
I'm not faking it. I'm actually describing the way you guys are speechless right now.
It's the first time we're speechless. So thank you, Anne, for taking over, and thank you to your intermittent fasting.
Yeah. And thank you. I'm saving
Thank
this
you
for
for
later.
coming
Thank
because I
you
know
for
you're.
having me here.
It's
Yes.
been the best. I know you're flying
Thank you.
out back to Dubai tomorrow, so
Yes.
thank you for giving us time.
Thank you so much.
Chef.
Really a pleasure. Really a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef Nouel Catis.